Yeah, hello. My name is Dongyeop Lee. I'm a first year PhD student at POSTECH, and today I'd like to introduce you about a novel algorithmic approach to asynchronous pipeline parallelism. So I believe Hyunji has explained quite well on how what pipelining is, but just as a reminder, uh, we when we do model parallelism, we don't want to just uh, let the model handle a one data at any given time, which would incur a lot of idle GPUs and wasted compute. You want to pipeline several uh, so-called micro batches uh, concurrently on the model. But if you actually try to fully utilize by always pipelining new micro batches, one problem is that uh, it becomes non-trivial to actually place the optimizer step because when we perform the parameter updates, uh, some micro batches will see different weights from forward and backwards, which makes yeah if we go into the details, what's actually happening is that the error signal, the partial derivative with respect to the loss, uh, is computed in a prior parameter state, uh, whereas the parameter state in the current parameter and the local Jacobian is computed in the drifted evolved parameter. So what happens is that we first get this somewhat of a chain degeneracy, partial derivatives evaluated at different parameter states get changed together. Uh, and another thing is that uh, the gradient would no longer be somewhat useful to the current parameter state. Uh, so what prior approaches normally do is just make the parameter this gradient chaining somewhat sound. So what they do is that they either stash the prior weight states to compute uh, the gradient at the prior parameter state, or they try to predict what the waste would be in the forward time and try to get the gradient of uh, the backward time. Um, However, uh, since the parameter drift isn't really controlled, when we try, when the parameter drifts too much, uh, the prior approach either has to use stale gradients, or the forward time prediction becomes too inaccurate, which incurs stability. So uh, what we ask in this work is that uh, how to update the parameters so that it doesn't harm the concurrent gradient computation, or in a bit more detail, uh, what would be the parameter changes that leave uh, the future gradient computation correct. So the main insight is here that if you actually see how the error signal is computed, it actually depends on the layer output instead of the weight itself. So when the weights would produce the same output, they would essentially kind of share the same error signal. So what this kind of shows is that if uh, weights change such that the forward signal is preserved, you can still use this stale error signal. So in FRESCO, for equivalence subspace constraint optimization, we aim to kind of constrain this update so that the evolved weights would still preserve the forward behavior with respect to the microbatches we need to kind of protect. Uh, so these are some details, but the main objective we try to formulate is that we want to uh, keep the update as close as what we were to originally use, but we modify it so that it kind of preserved the output behavior. And when we solve this problem, I won't go into the details. It kind of becomes this projection, and if we use SVD, it kind of becomes this simple expression. And well, additionally, at depth, this can become very restrictive. So one modification we do is that we try to balance between keeping the forward equivalence and updating by using this low rank approximation of the features. And one interpretation we can do is that we're essentially moving within subspace, like asynchronous update within the subspace that keeps the force equivalence, but kind of locking the other subspace. So kind of, yeah. So if we see the results, it shows that it keeps the performance robust at deep layers. And since we don't need to stash any previous weights, we get a lot of memory savings and also the speed. Yeah, that's all.